welcome back, guys, to the Long Island TCG Show Tournament. If you were already tuned in, you would have saw that's not really a word, right? That's not. You would have saw a really cool match. Would have been between Mike Formanek playing Reggie Drago, Chris Regan playing Archaldon. Mike able to pull it out with the heavy Crispin build of Reggie Drago. We are moving on to Swiss. We did get a little bit of time to kind of walk around the floor, see what's winning. I do know that some of our friends, I know Sajith lost round one, still in contention, couldn't go 3-1 and make cut.
True.
Our friend Dan playing Maridon. A couple of Maridons in the room a little bit. I think I saw like 2 or 3.
Yep.
I saw Luke was actually playing Raging Bolt. Liz took a win with Dragapult. And I think Tom, our friend Tom, your roommate actually, winning with Gardevoir. So we're seeing some of these meta decks getting these wins early. One thing that was crazy that I did see is a Hisuian Arcanine deck won round 1.
Oh, very vulnerable.
Yeah, it hit Maridon, which I think it hit Maridon for weakness.
That is
right?
an incredible matchup for that deck.
Yeah, I'm sure exactly what it wanted to hit, right? Yeah.
Probably a deck you don't see very often. The whole premise of the deck is I have no hand.
What up, Luke?
I have no deck, and thus I can swing for free. And then I hit Maridon for weakness. So that is probably a very, very good matchup for that. So
for sure.
I saw a little bit of Dragapult. I saw a lot of the meta decks going around on the floor.
A lot of Gardevoir today, it looks like,
Yeah, there was some. I saw some Maridon, some Gardevoir. I saw a lot of the meta decks actually on the floor today.
Or rather, let me call it what it is. It's Monkey Dory.
It's Monkey Dory deck.
Bro, this is not a Gardevoir deck anymore. We play 3 monkeys in it. It's a Monkey Dory deck.
We do love Monkey Dory.
There's 2 Gardevoir in the deck, 3 Monkey Dory. That's all I'm trying to say.
Business.
That's all I'm trying to say. We're just monkeying around, baby.
Just
Planet of the Apes.
around.
Planet of the Apes from here.
Together.
Apes together strong, baby. And, well, I guess we're going to see who's strong soon, behind us at the stream setup. So,
all right.
like I said, those are some of the things we could see. Could see some Dragapult, could see some Raging Bolt. Seems like there's a lot of Gardevoir down on the floor as well. So
True.
Definitely a bunch of options here leading into the second Swiss round.
All right. Definitely a competitive floor here at the Long Island TCG Show Tournament. As a reminder, we are here at the beautiful Hilton in Long Island, Melville, Long Island. Nice little grassroots tournament going on here going into round 2. We have not heard our round 2 opponents just yet. But when everything switches over, we will be the first to let you know. At any rate, got any comments as far as anything else so far? Have you seen anything on the TCG floor show that you have seen that you have liked yet?
Ooh, Gardevoir versus Raging Bolt. Looks like that's what we're going to get, a classic matchup. Well, I'll be honest, to answer your question, I haven't really been on the floor just yet. I got here like 12:30, got some sleep. I do definitely want to get a chance to kind of walk around the floor a bit. I was looking for some cards, but thanks to my lovely girlfriend, Liz, I needed my 3rd Pokeball Monkey Dory. She was able to get that for me before the tournament started. So I'm happy I got the card I was looking for. Did you get to see anything cool on the floor?
Nothing too crazy. I have my girlfriend as well. My my wonderful girlfriend, Sam, got me a couple of things. Shout out to Sam. She got me a couple of things I needed as well. But there are definitely a wealth of vendors on the floor that you guys can take advantage of. Tons of local shops on the island that you can support. Definitely worth taking a look at that. We usually have these TCG shows very often, not every single weekend, but usually pretty close to.
Usually monthly.
So yes, so definitely worth, if you are a local in the area, definitely see if you want to pick up some cards or maybe play in one of these grassroots tournaments that we got going on behind us. Definitely worth playing and supporting your local shops, because really that is what it is all about. You can't aspire to do truly great things until you start at the bottom level and start at those grassroots tournaments, and those can be very good. Now we've got our setup going on here. We have Tom McCabe versus Luke Levy. I do think the names on the stream are flipped. Luke Levy on the right, I believe, playing Raging Bolt versus Tom McCabe on the left, actually playing Gardevoir EX.
Yep.
Definitely. We've got our correction
now. We got the swap. Okay, let's go. Cool,
Thanks, team.
Cool.
We appreciate you on that one.
Yeah, so I know Luke was able to take down Juliana, who was playing a Dragapult Charizard. Juliana, definitely a player who loves Charizard. Definitely making that switch over to that deck. I'm looking.
Okay, aside from the trekking shoes, that is a brutal turn 1 hand. Do we know the results of the coin flip so far? Did we see that just yet?
Yeah, I don't really know who's going first, although I will say Luke did win the coin flip, so Luke will likely be going second here. Yep, he did choose second, which is, definitely the correct choice here in this matchup. You just kind of want to, I'm not even going to lie, this matchup, if Gardevoir draws well, is pretty poor for Raging Bolt, right? It doesn't have a ton of options.
All right.
We do see the Ralts start from Tom here. Oh my God, the Pheasantipity as well. We got the Mulligan draw, but what is that in hand? A Pokegear? I can't even Stretcher.
That is a Stretcher.
Yikes, man.
And a single. The only draw that Luke has is a single Trekkie Shoe.
I
so
ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. That Trekkie Shoe's gotta go
that
crazy.
Is not good. That is not good. But we've got our Artisan down. We will be able to search for a basic non-rule box Pokemon and put it on the bench. Tom has opted. Looks like he's eyeing Klefki right now, which would shut off Luke's pretty much his entire deck. Klefki, when it is in the active, it shuts off the abilities of all basic Pokemon in play that aren't Klefki. So that means that the Teal Mask Ogrepons that we saw in the last round with Reggie Drago, they will not function in the same way that this Raging Bolt deck uses them. We will have to see. Looks like he is eyeing the Ultra Ball. We'll have to see what he wants to do.
The thing here is he does have to save the energy for the retreat. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it here as well when it comes to Tom's list. So not much sugarcoating going on right now. You know, I'm an FGC guy technically. Smash, I guess, kind of isn't really FGC. So I guess I got that language in me. But in terms of the Klefki itself, this is our list. We added this card for matchups like this. We added it mostly for Miraidon, but having the Klefki in the Gardevoir deck going first is very strong because basically, honestly, decks like Raging Bolt take collateral damage on Klefki, right? Pushing a Klefki into active is a very, very strong thing to do, especially against a deck like Raging Bolt that is so heavily reliant on abilities. So I think that what Tom is doing here, setting up a nice little board, is pretty good. He did have to devote the Ultra Ball here, so, you know.
Looks like Luke broke a sleeve on the other side.
Yeah.
We have to prove that it is broken. We then will have to see what exactly is going on here. Ideally, what's going to happen is the attach, retreat, and then pass over from Tom. We will have to see what he does next with not that many cards in his hand. He does have the Curlia to evolve. He'll retreat and then pass over to Luke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Double track it. Okay, so we got some draw here.
We have something to start with.
But then what a dude, but like the Klefki though, like we got to draw a Prime Catcher or a Catcher Head. Like we just got to get something, dude. Something that is a little concerning to me as well is Tom's hand. Like he has Bravery Charm in hand, and he does have the Curlia, so he will get to see cards, but refining away a Bravery Charm, depending on top deck, could be a little suspicious. Like, Bravery Charm is definitely a card that we'd like to have in this matchup. So, in general, it's a little suspicious. I do know that Luke is probably looking for maybe like a Slitherwing or, you know, whatever, you know, random basic
something to thin the
one
deck.
prizer. Yeah. Because, I mean, hey, man, let's not joke around here. These Trekkie Shoes got to go pretty crazy here. So...
okay, so he's still searching his deck. Looks like he's prize checking right now just to do very critical if you're looking to learn the TCG and do better at it. Prize checking on your first deck search is something that usually is kind of allowed, and you know, in terms of pace of play and things like that, you want to make sure what you have in your deck, and that is what Luke is doing right now. He is making sure that he can see everything that he has access to, everything that he can see, because maybe if you're missing one critical card or something that you normally would use into this matchup, then you don't really have it. So knowing ahead of time is half the battle.
Yeah. One thing I do want to note about Luke's list here is I do see the Lost Vacuum in his hand as well, which is definitely interesting to note. He has a Briar in his deck, though. I did see him kind of look at that card, make sure it was in deck when he was looking through, which is important. In this matchup, your line kind of becomes get ahead 2 prizes, Lost Vacuum, Knockout, and then maybe the Briar gives you a bit of flexibility to take your last 2 when Gardevoir is also on 2.
Which is true. Opting to get rid of the Iono there.
Very surprised by that, truthfully.
Interesting. I mean, maybe he gets something else off of
really
the second Trekkie Shoes.
Oh, he gets a Nest Ball.
Nest Ball, but that doesn't give him too much.
Yeah, he still can't get a swing here. I guess he could get a Raging Bolt in play, but he doesn't really have a way to move this Klefki.
Yeah, definitely interesting strategy getting rid of the Iono there, because you know the rest of your hand is really bad. But I guess maybe the thought behind it being is that like you have enough cards to maybe get something else done the following turn. Tom doesn't exactly have the majority of a board state set up.
That's true. Tom has 2 cards in hand, right? So it's not a lot. But yeah.
So if he Ionos, then you're technically giving your opponent a fresh hand of 6 cards. So maybe that's not exactly something that you would want to, you know, deal with or allow for your opponent to have.
Especially when Tom's board is honestly pretty good for a turn 1. Gardevoir's turn 1 boards are a little sketchy sometimes, you know, as someone who's played the deck many a time pretty consistently. going turn 1 with Gardevoir can be a little scary sometimes. A lot of the times, you're just kind of like attached passing. So the fact that Tom was actually able to establish 2 Ralts here is definitely a little threatening for Luke. So in Luke's position, dropping that Iono definitely does make sense, just for the fact that wait, does he not?
Oh, he
has a boss.
He has a
Okay.
raw boss.
Okay.
Maybe, okay, so
This
I
makes
did not
sense.
see that.
This makes sense.
I did not see the initial turn there. So now, at this point, we could probably Squawk and Seize this whole hand.
You know what I like, too? He has the option to motivate here as well. I really like this option from him. The one thing that is a little suspicious here is dropping the Vacuum. So he won't be able to get rid of the Bravery Charm at all this game. So that is definitely a tool, or basically a tool that now Tom knows exists and is gone. So that is very strong for Tom. He doesn't have to play the mind game anymore. He knows there's a Vacuum in the deck, and also he doesn't have to worry about it. So that's definitely a very nice situation for Tom here.
Also very true. He did Lost Zone the Artisan, and then now we've got a couple energies in the discard pile here. The problem, what was the other card here? Switch card. Yeah,
this is the Motivate angle.
Definitely looks like Motivate is the option here. I think we probably attach either the, I think we attach
the grass.
Probably the grass, because you want to attach the fighting energy to the Raging Bolt. And then we'll Squawk and Seize. So this card on your first turn only, you can play it to your bench and you can discard your hand and draw 6. Effectively a slightly weaker Professor's Research on turn 1. And you can use it going first, which is even better.
Yeah.
Looks
and
like
now he will get the Teal Dance too. So I'll be honest though, the rest of this hand is a little suspicious. There's still no Raging Bolt, no Sada in hand.
Right.
This is honestly, truthfully, not looking great for Luke. This is another situation where like these next 2 Teal Dances over the next couple turns have to go crazy because I don't know what Luke's prizes are, but I just haven't seen Professor Sada. I haven't seen Raging Bolt really. Looks like they are on the bottom of his deck. He does have them. But yeah, this is a tricky situation because we need to get that Raging Bolt down, man. That's what this deck's all about.
Yeah, very true. Taking those big knockouts with the Raging Bolt's attack. The idea being 70 damage times the amount of energy you discard from the Pokemon that you have in play. So the Teal Mask, Ogre Pawns, and everything else, you rush the board with energy and then swing for the biggest numbers possible with the Raging Bolt.
Sure.
Now, we will have to see what exactly he does, because he does have the fighting and the electric and the lightning energy, in the discard pile. So we will have to get the Teal Mask in play, maybe thin the deck enough where you can draw a card with the Teal Mask, and maybe it's a Raging Bolt or a way to get to the Raging Bolt.
Yep.
If that happens, then okay, great. You can use the Motivate attack to put energy into play.
Yeah, and I like what Luke's doing here. He's thinning to the max. He understands that this situation kind of stinks, and he needs to find a Raging Bolt. I think that what he's doing here is correct. You know, just kind of taking all these cards out of deck. You know, it can be a little suspicious sometimes to drop all these energy early. He does have an E-Retrieval in hand, though, and he understands the situation's a little dire here. So I think that's exactly what he's doing. He will get to use 1 Ogre Pawn to draw a card. Maybe we'll get a Raging Bolt.
We are Teal Dancing a Pokegear, so that doesn't give us anything. That doesn't give us anything this turn.
Not this turn.
So you don't have to worry too much. Maybe you do Motivate, but maybe what energy do you even attach? Probably just the grass energy.
Grass to the Ogre
Pawn.
Pawn. Yeah. I think we just try to swing with this Ogre Pawn, man. I think that's what it is.
That's the only option you have.
That's what we were given.
Now. All right, so let's see. We've got a Hisuian Heavy Ball for Tom. We will have to see if we want to discard that, because I think the idea here being...
I think that's what it is.
If we do get another Psychic Energy card... oh, we did. So I think...
Oh, we can Evo as well, but I think we honestly, in this situation, Luke doesn't have much in hand, and we know the Ogre Pawn swing is going to come out. And this is kind of the scary situation with Tom as well, because his hand has not much in it, but I think he is just going to go for this defensive Klefki play, which I agree with, honestly. This is fine.
Right, because he doesn't have much else right now. He can still draw 2 more cards. If he draws into an Iono, an Arven, something where he can still continue to build up his board, then it's not the end of the world there. And then Luke goes ahead and prize cards by 1, activating Counter Catcher, activating those comeback strategies that make Gardevoir as a deck so incredibly powerful. So let's see. We got the Pokegear from the previous turn for Luke. Let's see what he gets.
Ooh. Wait, what the heck?
He whiffed.
Do we play Sada, dude?
What
the heck happened? How many earned prizes?
Sada. That is brutal.
Show me the glass view, you know? Yeah, no.
Definitely not the greatest thing you want to see there. Let's just see what he gets now. I think he's talking about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's worth talking about. That's pretty crazy. Not gonna lie. You know, I mean, we haven't seen many supporters at all this game from Luke, and you know, we didn't see any Raging Bolts really either. But that is one thing we did see off the gear, but we can't pick those up. So it looks like I think all he can really do here, truthfully, is like retreat and swing. I really don't think he could do anything else here.
Yeah, not much else to do about it. At least you are taking a prize card. You're initiating the prize trade. You're forcing Tom to have something. Say you gotta have something next turn, or else I'm still gonna be able to take prize cards on you. And with as low of a hand size as Tom has, maybe we might have a little bit of a problem.
I kind of like this low key. I mean, listen, like if they're both Bricked, he could snipe that Curlia before it becomes a Gardevoir. Honestly, that's fine. I kind of like that.
Very true. So now let's see what Tom promotes. Presumably the Ralts here.
I think it would have to be. We need to keep that Curly alive at all costs. We're going to draw a card. We do have an energy
draw.
And we do have Evo in hand. So this is like the concern here, right? It's like we kind of want the Evo if we can get a Buddy Poffin or something. But, yeah, this is a tough refinement decision for Tom. And the Bravery Charm is so important in the matchup that it almost doesn't feel correct to get rid of. I think it is. Okay, that's understandable. This makes sense. You know, he could hit an Arvin to get an Evo.
What was that other card there? Is
Vessel
that
and Energy.
Vessel of Dark Energy
Dang,
there.
that's really bad.
So we've got a brick on both sides.
Yeah. But, I mean, yet again, you know, this is a situation, you know, Gardevoir cannot set up. This is definitely a situation that favors Raging Bolt very heavily.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll have to see. We know that Luke doesn't exactly have the boss in his hand. He did use one already, and I think those decks typically play up to 2.
Yeah.
As well as maybe the Prime Catcher as a third Gust option. So we'll have to see if he can draw into that. I know we'll have to. It really depends on what exactly he can get.
Yeah. Bizarrely enough, this isn't like a completely over game. Like if Tom can draw into like, let's just I like the attachment there. If Tom could draw into like an Arvin or an Iono and just like hit a Gardevoir, like Luke doesn't have like anything on his board. So honestly, this is not like a completely over game. I think the ideal thing for Tom to hit here would be to like find Unfair Stamp or something, right? That would be insane. But
okay, so Luke is ironing out his strategy of just drawing cards. We want to see our options as best we can. He's eyeing his Gusts, just like we were saying before. He actually plays Pokemon Catcher, so we have 2 of those, plus potentially the boss. So he wants to maximize his chances of being able to take out that Curlia, because right now with Tom's hand, if he gets that Curlia, it is lights out. For this deck. So we will have to see what exactly is going to happen.
Yeah, Luke understands how big of a deal finding this Gust is. I mean, literally, if he finds the Gust, if I'm Tom, I'm probably just scooping the game up. Not even gonna lie.
It does not look good from that point. I will say at this point in our best of 1 format, we are just about halfway. Got 2 minutes, just short of 15 minutes through the round. Definitely want to make sure that this game concludes. Oh, got the Raging Bolt
and a Pokegear. I mean, that could get us a Sada to see cards.
Which I think is probably our best bet there, right?
I think so. Maybe get a catcher or a Prime Catcher or a Pokemon Catcher or something, you know?
Yeah. Does he have the Palpat in hand? He's eyeing it up.
I mean, if he does have Palpat in hand, he definitely should use it here.
And it looks like he has a Sada as well.
Yeah, so he could Sada to the... He can kind of get a Sada...
Yeah, he's definitely eyeing
looking cards here.
He's looking at his item cards because definitely he needs to draw as many cards as possible. He does have 3 outs in the deck to Gust, and then he has the 1 in the discard pile. So if he technically can draw into the stuff that he needs, you know, potentially there's a way to do that. So we are drawing our 3 cards. Palpad.
I'll have it next turn, but I mean, next turn it won't matter.
Well, the thing is, at this point, you do have the ability to get another Grass Energy. You can Teal Dance once.
It's true.
You know, the problem is that if Tom does get to Gardevoir EX this turn, then they can and gets the Monkey Dory because he does have the Dark in hand. He can do the Monkey Dory plus the Gardevoir punch to KO the Ogerpon, thus taking the first 2 in the matchup and removing 3 energies from play, which can really hurt Luke's game plan there.
Truthfully, vacuuming that Artisan in the early game is not usually what the Raging player wants to do with their vacuum, but it worked out really well for Luke just because Tom's hand was so limited. So just in this situation, Tom's not able to thin with Artisan. He's not able to build up his board more. And it's just a very scary situation. I do think that if Luke can retreat into the Raging Bolt, he probably does do it here. Just because it's easier for Tom to get the return knockout on an Ogerpon.
That is very true.
So
he would have to produce a counter catcher on top of the existing strategy that I had just outlined.
Yeah,
with
1 refinement, that's very difficult.
Yeah, unless he top decks an Iono, and then he'd have to Iono into what? Gardevoir, counter catcher, and a Monkey Dory, or a way to get to it.
Yeah.
Which definitely a lot of pieces. Not impossible off of 6 cards, potentially 8 if he top decks the Iono itself. So we'll have to see what exactly he does here on the next turn. Luke trying to decide what he wants to do. We are now halfway through our round, 14 minutes, 50 seconds left.
Yeah, you know, this is definitely a matchup that I'm going to say I don't think this is going to go time. You know, like, this is a matchup where either what's going to happen here, right, is either Luke's going to run away with it. You know, Tom's not going to draw out of this, or Tom will draw out of this, and he'll start going 2/2/2 on his prize cards, you know?
All right, and there's our 70 damage. We are knocking out the Ralts in play. Lone Curlia hitting the active. We shall see.
Draw a card. Oh, okay, that's a counter catcher. That's one card.
That's counter catcher. That's a start.
Okay, this refinement has to go a little crazy, though. Not going to lie. So we are going to use refinement.
A little scary here.
He might actually lose this game without playing a single supporter card.
The Iono, and what was that? What was the additional card?
Ooh, okay.
So he did get the Iono. He knows the play that he needs. I can't tell what that card is.
If that was a Nest Ball, that would have been insane because then he would have been able to get the monkey down.
I believe it's Drifloon.
Oh, it's an Arvin.
Oh, he did get the Arvin. I thought that was an Iono.
I think he's got a stamp here, huh?
Yeah,
that's got to be.
Yeah, stamp him down to 2 cards. Maybe potentially if you draw into the Stretcher, you can get the Klefki back into play. You know, stall out one more turn, maybe. Or if you just draw into the Gardevoir EX. And the setup there. So let's see what Tom does. Definitely the unfair stamp there. Unfair stamp, if a Pokemon, it's our A-Spec card of the deck of choice for Gardevoir, among others. The effect says if a Pokemon on your side of the board was knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you and your opponent both shuffle your hands into your deck. You draw 5. Your opponent draws 2.
Yeah.
Hence the name Unfair Stamp. It is unfair for your opponent to take prize cards and try to win the game. Funny enough.
That's what they tell you. You know, sometimes the unfair stamps are giving my opponents like a research or a boss for game, and that kind of stinks, right?
Okay.
Ooh, opting to not put the charm on the Drifloon. That's fine, honestly.
I mean,
I don't think he's getting a knockout this turn. He brought in the Greninja here.
Worst case scenario, maybe if you get to the Gardevoir EX, you could get to Screamtail. Screamtail KO the Squawkabilly.
That's true. I think Screamtail Squawk would be the ideal play here, because putting the Greninja in active here is like Tom's best defensive play. And since the vacuum is gone, if Tom goes down one more prize card, I think he can still technically win.
With a 2/2/2 prize map,
yes,
absolutely.
It's difficult, but still, it's technically possible.
Yeah, that Arvin definitely probably one of the best top decks he could have gotten in that scenario for sure. Let's just see the cards he draws off the top. Luke first.
I'm curious.
What's he got? Oh, put
bro,
him down.
No, just show me, bro.
Show me the cards. I want to see it. He doesn't even know.
Tom doesn't even want to show us. Okay, we got some Ralts. I mean, that's like decent.
Problem is now we can't get the Curlia out of the active anymore. So maybe he should have attached the dark energy to allow for that, because right now I don't think Tom has any other options. On Luke's side, we've got.
So that's totally fair, but I do also understand Tom's perspective here, just because I'm gonna be super real. I think if he whiffs Gardevoir here, he just loses the game anyway. So
yeah,
I think he realized that Gardevoir was needed.
Definitely does not look good. Let's just see what he does. Passes the turn back to Luke. Luke draws Nest Ball.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got energy back into play now, which guarantees in this spot, guarantees the Raging Bull KO on the Curlia. Luke will take his 3rd prize card, and now, unfortunately, Tom has to have some sort of response, which I don't think he will with 11 minutes left in the round. Luke will be 3 prize cards up, and as we said before, if you are 3 prize cards down as Guardy, you need to take 2, 2, and 2 to win the game effectively, to allow for your opponent to not immediately run you over. So now we'll have to see what Luke does from this end. He will get the 2 energies he needs. He can attach a card to the Ogre Pond to draw a card, and then attach the fighting energy to the Greninja to maybe retreat it. We'll just have to see if Luke is able to do that. So, nice little show up here. Tom definitely seeing that he just doesn't have anything, unfortunately. So
yeah.
Interesting call on dumping the 2 cards off the Greninja there. Because if he does use the energy to draw a card with the Teal Mask, then I don't think he can retreat this turn.
Yeah, I mean, that energy's just gotta be attached to the Greninja, right? Like, we just gotta take this knockout here. I think that if Luke takes 1 prize card this turn in a normal situation, it would not be the end of the game. But since it is particularly the Curlia, I think that this kind of just marks it.
Good note about the TCG in this sense. If you have a Pokemon that evolves into another Pokemon, you cannot evolve it until the turn after the turn it is played. So in this case, you will have to go from Ralts the next turn to Curlia, the next turn to Gardevoir. So at this point, because this is the lone Curlia in play, Tom will have to wait for 2 turns to be able to evolve into the Gardevoir EX and mount up some sort of comeback in this situation. So not exactly a great situation here, but you know, maybe there might be some alternate win cons that Tom has in mind to play, maybe drawing into a counter catcher or something like that, where Luke doesn't have any more options. He did burn his switch card. He did burn. Oh nope, we have 2nd switch card and prime catcher, so that is not going to be even remotely an issue for that game plan.
for the Japanese Battle Partners booster box goes to
Something I do want to note as well is that I do honestly think that, you know, like what we were talking about before with the unfair stand, like obviously this is a comeback card on the Gardevoir player's part usually, but I mean, listen, man, like honestly, that just put Tom in a worse position, right? Which is kind of crazy to think here, but you know, sometimes you just don't draw the cards you need, and
at this point, you are riding the line between being able to win and lose in that case with a comeback deck. Sometimes maybe you just don't draw the cards you need, and now you are just behind. Ooh, buddy Poffin. So you have the nest ball. What do you put down here? If you don't have an energy, it's Greninja.
The
if
first
not,
monkey of the
Dory.
game, dude. That's so upsetting.
That is brutal from Tom's side.
No Monkey
here.
Dory's getting in play until this turn. Really unfortunate on Tom's part. That's definitely a card that you just absolutely would 100% need in the matchup.
Luke with 3 potential gusts in hand here. This looks grim, unfortunately, for Tom. Had a good start there, got the Klefki in play, but just the deck just did not function.
Yeah.
Oh, we have the Iono. Okay, so Tom will draw a fresh hand of 6. You know, potentially there's a world where you could get the Evo play into double Curlia, where now on the following turn, since the evolution happens at the end of the current turn, then the next turn you can evolve into Gardevoir. So maybe there's a world where you can get the CC play, Luke doesn't draw into the switching outs that he needs, and then you are able to mount at least some sort of a comeback in this stage. And I think that is the only play that Tom has available to him right now. Unfortunately, he did not draw anything else that is worth writing home about. He will have to draw the Curlia, get the Curlia off the Night Stretcher. Night Stretcher says you can get 1 Pokemon or 1 basic energy card back into your hand. In this case, it is Curlia. We will refinement the engine of the Gardevoir deck now that we're actually seeing it for the second time. Discard 1, draw 2 cards. So now this is an interesting play, right? We know we Iono'd Luke down to 3 cards.
3 cards, yeah.
So the chances are of him having a Gust are reasonably low, depending on the size of his deck, which I can see right there. Maybe the thought process behind this is maybe you Evo the Curlia and into a Gardevoir EX, and then Evo the Ralts into a Curlia. If he does not get the Gust that turn and KOs the Drifloon, maybe there's a world where we can CC something into the active. There are a lot of energy on the board right now, and maybe set up some sort of comeback off of those 2 cards.
Yep.
But let's see what he does here. We are going to try and draw some more cards.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is definitely a situation where not even gonna lie, Tom's got to go for the cheese, right? This is where Gardevoir goes for, you know, those plays that you're like, hey, listen, I'm too far behind. The deck isn't working as intended. To oh my god, do you see all this energy on the top of his deck?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I just had to pause and note that. What the heck? It happens, man. But okay, so he is gonna get these Curlies back. He's trying to establish a board again. That's really, really nice. But you know, in Tom's position here, I think this is totally a counter catcher Iono Screamtail Prey angle. You know, you just kind of have to go for this this play and hope it pans out.
Yeah, because I mean, at this point, if you get to a Gardevoir EX and your opponent does get the Gust, then game's about as good as over. There's not really much that you can happen. But at this point, on your next turn, now at least you can do something. Whereas, right, you would have had to use the Curlias to draw into potentially an out to get to the Gardevoir EX. This guarantees that you have it now. So let's see what Luke gets. Top decking the
Pokemon catcher, dude! Oh my goodness.
Oh no. So we will have to see.
Some people just built different, man.
So we will have to see what he does here, because if he does get that, we will have to see. Maybe.
Okay, wait. Oh no. He's gonna make us wait on the flip, bro.
Not like this. Not like this. Maybe they hurt us.
Yeah, I heard him giggling. They definitely hurt us.
Sada. And we're shuffling the deck after.
To be fair, I don't think he's played a single catcher yet.
No, he has
not. To be
he
fair,
has not,
yeah.
And he does play either 2 or 3, so there is a situation
Probably
where
2, yeah.
There is a situation where potentially he does not draw into that, so we'll have to see what exactly is going on here. Ooh, Tom feeling the pressure, feeling the sting a little bit here. We'll have to see what exactly happens. All right, here it is, the coin flip.
Luck maxing? Are we luck maxing, ladies and gentlemen?
We are not.
We are not luck maxing. Unfortunate.
No.
Oh, no. Luke is so mad. Luke is raging. He's Raging Bolt. That's what he is,
He's
man.
raging.
Raging
He's
Bolt,
Raging
baby.
Bolt.
Bro became his deck's namesake, but now he seems to have chilled out now, so that's good.
Okay.
I can
Well,
make these jokes because Luke is our GOAT, so we can make these
now
jokes.
that he has played Professor Sada, maybe potentially he does draw into another Pokemon catcher. See what he draws. 1, 2, 3. What do we got?
Yeah,
Switch card and Nest Ball. Okay. So nothing this turn. Luke will have to settle for taking 1 prize card, but at this point, you know, definitely a world where Tom is losing 6-2. So definitely something, a monumental comeback will have to be in order.
Yeah.
We will have to disrupt Luke's hand and then hope to God he does not draw anything else.
One thing I will note is there's a lot of energy on Luke's board. So
that is very true.
This could be a situation where maybe that's like giving him less access to energy on his field.
And he's using the switch card too. Interesting. Mainly the reason being is that if you lock up all the energy in your deck on the board and use all your switch outs, right? What happens when you get counter captured, a Pokemon is the active, and you can no longer retreat it?
That's exactly what I'm going at here. There's a lot of energy on the board. So in terms of him actually getting the energy to manual retreat here, he did just use the switch card, which is a resource. And also at the same time, there's a lot of energy on the board. So honestly, that could cost him here. Truthfully, he's really far ahead, so it might not. But
good
I
promote
do,
the Guardy here.
Yep, but I do think that this is a situation that it is not completely impossible for Tom to make a comeback. We've seen he just needs 1 turn.
He does need 1 turn. So he draws 2 cards. I see an Artisan and another Gardevoir EX. That was off of the Greninja, I believe.
So he
does
does
have
have refinement.
Energy. He has 1 refinement, which I think in this case he will probably he should pitch the Gardevoir EX, because at this point,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 100%.
you know, let's just see what he grabs in this case. Because maybe the Artisan, if you do get, he did use the Super Art already, but if he does get another option to maybe get some Pokemon back, or maybe grab the Screamtail off the Artisan, get a good counter catcher into the active, maybe put Greninja there, Iono, and then see what happens. Also an option here. Now, since he has the Dark Energy, he can use Monkey Dory's ability, Adrenabrain, which says, if you have a Dark type energy attached to the Monkey Dory, I can take 30 damage. Ooh! Pitching the Dark Energy, removing access to... Okay, yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah.
he Greninja, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's what we're checking on here.
Okay.
He did get the Iono.
He does get the Iono. I mean...
Where's the Screamtail at, though, dude?
So he'll have to play the Artisan to get to it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, huh?
I guess my only concern is maybe... Yeah, you'll have to use the Screamtail here to take the first 2 and just Iono to 2 and hope it sticks. But
Yeah.
the problem is that he'll be able to draw 3 cards with Pheasantipity EX. When a Pokemon is knocked out the previous turn, Pheasantipity says, yeah, you get to draw 3 cards now. The bird works. Okay, opting for the Drifloon. So maybe we try to see if we can draw into the Bravery Charm that is still left in the deck. If you do, then maybe you can just get the KO on the Raging Bolt. And now the only option that he can take is 1 prize card, because Briar is currently not online.
Yep.
Let's see what he draws off of 6.
Yeah, I do want to know, I think we just got an update about a minute ago that there was 3 minutes left. Now we're down 2. I don't think that Tom can win this game unless he takes 2 prizes.
He can.
Exactly this turn, right?
Yes, he will need to take 2. He did draw the Screamtail, so the Screamtail is definitely an option. Does he have enough Psychic Energy in the discard pile? I think he does.
He definitely has 4.
So I think that is his only option at the moment, is just KO the Squawkabilly and just hope that he does not get the Gust on the following turn.
Yep, makes sense.
Luke seems to have what in his hand off of the Iono to 2? I did not see it.
A play I don't hate as well is if Tom has the ability, if he has like 5 energy in discard and the Charm, what he can do here is he can actually just CC in the Greninja and knock out the Fez. That's also an option as well with the Monkey Dory ping.
That is definitely true.
I don't think he has that, though. He is using an Artisan right now. I don't know if he's actually planning on getting anything here.
Okay.
Yeah, there is the Bravery Charm in there, so he didn't hit it. So that play isn't available to him.
Right, so he would have to Screamtail. So if he does bench the Monkey Dory there, then his bench is set to 5. He's at his maximum. He can no longer actually use the Screamtail as a play option. I think that is the only thing that he can do. We are down to, I believe, just short of 50 seconds. Although I did hear our judge call 30, so the timer might be off from our end.
Yeah, the stream match I think has a slightly different timer. So
yes,
started
I
like
apologize.
20, and he said, "Nah, you're all good." But
all right, so.
But yeah, regardless, this game is gonna finish.
We are hitting for 180. Yeah, maybe there was a world where he could have Screamtailed. Maybe he doesn't want to give Luke the access to the Pheasantipity.
Yeah.
He drew a Pokemon catcher. Oh no.
Luke is the master of top deck and Pokemon catcher, dude.
All right, so we're gonna have to see here, because there's a world. I think he just goes for it.
Oh yeah, 100%. You just have to.
Pokemon catcher flip for the game here. Is Luke luck maxing?
Is he luck maxing when it matters, ladies and gentlemen?
I do not see it.
It would appear that he is. Yeah, we didn't see it, but I have to believe these guys. The cards are getting packed up, so it must have been a heads. Yeah, that's game.
With the additional setup, that is Luke Levy taking it against Tom McCabe.
Yeah.
Definitely another upset in the matchup. Raging Bolt taking it over Gardevoir.
Yeah. Definitely not a good matchup for Raging Bolt, especially, honestly, the list we built seems like it should have a pretty strong Raging Bolt matchup. But, honestly, all it took was, Luke playing really well in the first turn to kind of play around the Klefki with the Squawk. That was, honestly, a really strong line, and I like that he was playing a little more reserved with that. He played really well there. And, honestly, truthfully, Tom just not drawing very well, right?
Yeah, he knew that Tom did not have a lot of cards in his hand. He had the Curlia, just the one draw, and then Tom just didn't get anything off of it. Didn't draw the Iono, didn't draw the Arven until it was a turn too late. So I think that was the only thing that could have really happened there. Unfortunately, that's just kind of how it goes with Gardevoir sometimes. Sometimes you just don't have enough cards for the setup. If you have to Ultra Ball 2 cards away out of your hand turn 1, then you don't have a lot of cards to Refinement. You don't have a lot of cards to, go and push through the rest of your deck to try to find the options that you need, and that is exactly what happened there. Props to Luke for taking that home. He is currently 2-0 in the set. We are going into round 3. There are 4 rounds of Swiss. 2-0 is definitely a very good place to be right now. Your tournament standings are very good. High potential of making top 4. Which will be for our prizing later on in the event. Tom still has a way to get it back. Losing in round 2 is not the end of the world. But seems like we've got an interview with Luke Levy lined up in a minute. At the end of that, we will be waiting for him, see if he comes by in a second. But he stuck to his guns, kept his win cons in check, and he was able to just punish a, what is potentially not a very good board state for Guardy to set up. Now, question is, would you like to do the interview?
Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah, we can alternate on these. I'm down.
I'm down with that. So
send Luke here, yeah.
All right. So we have to do that. So.
Okay, cool.
So I guess you heard it here first. Luke Levy taking it over with a Raging Bolt, taking it over Gardevoir in a 1-0 fashion. Very dominating game there. And looks like he's coming up right now.
Okay,
I will slide out for now. You guys be good. I will see you in the next round.
Can you slide in, my friend? Cool. And then I think after this, we're going to take like a 10-minute break, but gonna slide over. Just sliding over a little bit, gonna have Luke over for a little interview here. Luke brought over a chair, very gentlemanly, but we're just scooching here. What is up, my guy?
What's up, viewers?
What's up?
The next raffle winner goes to Ryan McCabe. Come on down.
All right, so talk. Okay, so first off, you're not playing Goldingo.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
But bro, he said he was playing Goldingo before the tournament. What happened, dude?
So I didn't bring any standard decks. So this is the Long Island TCG Trade Show. So I pretty much cleared out my whole bag for trade stuff. I'm really into like collecting and trying to get the max rarity of whatever deck that I'm playing at the time. I really like to bring it to the regionals and flex on everybody there with whatever deck that I'm playing at the given time. And last time it was Lugia. The time before that was Cerulege, and before Koff. So I've gotten more into that, and as I've done that, I kind of realized a lot of the art rares get bought out. A lot of these collectors love the art, and how can you blame them? I mean, it looks beautiful.
It's nice.
So
we like sparkly things, dude.
So yeah, I didn't bring any standard decks. Had to borrow a deck from my good friend Kevin. So shout out to Kevin.
Oh, that's Kevin's Raging Bolt.
Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah.
And so he originally had Goldingo built. And I realized very soon after looking through the deck that the deck was really good. It had one problem. It was missing all of the optimal gimme ghouls. And they were 50 HP. And if you play this format, you know 50 HP is not very good. Dragapult. And you have Dusclops in there as well.
Oh, true.
So yeah, that didn't sound too appealing to me. He said that he had Raging Bolt. I know Kevin is a very good Raging Bolt player. Made day 2 at Toronto with Raging Bolt. So shout out to him for his first day 2 with that. So I know that he knew the deck very well. I trusted in his deck building, and now I'm 2-0. And I did make one mistake that match that I caught. I noticed that Tom was bricking very early. I thought I could have. Well, I thought the Motivate was good.
I think what you did made sense, actually.
I thought I could have motivated to the Pheasantipity and started cruel arrowing. Because if you noticed, he didn't get the Manaphy down. And, I mean, maybe he would have. Okay, so I don't know the list
we don't
that
play
well.
Yeah.
But I'm playing around the worst-case scenarios here.
That's fair.
I feel like that could have possibly been better. Take out his only Curlia a couple turns earlier, save you guys some minutes in the viewing. But it was still a good game nonetheless. I mean, he just didn't really get too started, and Raging Bolt kind of runs over those kinds of decks.
Yeah, I do think you played around the keys well, though. Because, like, when you first pitched the Iono, I was like, wait, that seems wrong. But since you had Boss in hand and were able to get the Squawk, I really did like that angle because you were able to get a new hand without giving him one because he only had 2 cards. So I do think that the way that you played that, honestly, was correct just because if you looked at his turn, he was Ultra Balling away. It was, like, Curly a Gardevoir, right? So obviously his hand either just, like, at that point had, like, 1 supporter in it, so it would have taken him a little more time, or basically, or basically he was dead drawing, right? So I think that was a really good read on your part to just basically see the low hand size and just kind of understand, wait, he might be breaking here. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You kind of have to look out for that. See if your opponent's going second. Maybe they don't play a supporter card. That's kind of a telltale sign that maybe they don't have one. So
yeah, for sure.
You kind of have to read the board and get a good feel of that. And as soon as you get a good feel for that, you'll start winning some more games.
Cool. Yeah, well, thanks a lot for hopping on, dude.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you throughout more of the tournament. And, 2-0, good start.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right, so we're going to kick it off to a short break.